Hey everybody, welcome to the Stock Car Spectacle. I'm Ian Jortson,
I'm Mike Gamble.
I'm Nick Kinzel.
And I'm Connor Bunn.
and we're here for another edition of Kinzel's Classroom. Professor, take it away.
All right, we are back. Class is back in session for the first time in God knows how long, couple months. We did the little short edited video last week, but it feels good to finally be back in the classroom. So we're going to make it real simple here. We're just going to do who makes the grade this week, but we're going to take it from the Coke 600 and the Alsco 500. So I got 5 drivers in mind, and I'm gonna give my grades, and then we're gonna see, for those who haven't seen this show before, I give the grades, and then I turn it over to my analyst over here, see if they agree or disagree. And in the end, we're gonna find out who makes the grade. So let's get started here. So I have 5 drivers here. The first driver on my list is Austin Dillon, driver of the number 3 RCR Chevrolet. 14th in the Coke 600 and 8th in the Alsco 500. Really, this week, RCR showed up a little bit. Tyler Reddick and Austin Dillon were both really competitive, and this is like finally where this team needs to be. So I'm going to give him a solid B for his performance this past week, because this is where Austin Dillon, now 7 years into his Cup career, he should be rattling off finishes like this. And RCR finally seems like they're starting to turn the wheels, turn the gears here a little bit, because both of their cars have been pretty fast all year long. Tyler Reddick's been leading the show, but Austin Dillon had himself a solid race week, so I got to give him a B for his performance.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think that's fair, especially in our Thursday night race. I was fully expecting him to be kind of a comer and a goer, but it seemed like he got up in the top 10 and never really went anywhere, just kind of hung strong. So for him to finally be running, in the top 10 kind of regularly, and, he had a pretty solid showing in the 600, all things considered, too. I'd say you got to look at this day as a success for the 3 team.
Yeah, I got to agree with you with a solid B there. I mean, yeah, that team, they struggle a lot, but Austin Dillon really found that speed at Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's a track that he's won at before, not exactly because of the speed he had, but more because of pit strategy. But it is a track that he has had success at. So it was very nice to see the 3 car do very well and on Sunday and Thursday night's race.
I would agree as well. I think a B is a very fair grade for him. He started the race, the 18, qualified around him, and it seemed like he was, Kyle was racing around him all night. So he definitely hung around in the top 10 for a while. Maybe not the finish that he wanted or deserved, but I think a B is a very fair grade for Austin the past two races.
Absolutely. Finally feels like our stars starting to show up at the racetrack after their long, however many year hiatus. Looks like they're back. All right, so number 2 on my list is the 38 of John Hunter Nemechek. John Hunter, 16th in the Coke 600 and 13th in the Alsco 500. I still have to give him solid B plus for his performance because of his equipment situation. He's driving for Front Row Motorsports. But, guys, this guy just continues to impress week in, week out. Because I'll be the first one to say, you can go back to one of our old shows last season when the news just came out that he's going to be taking over this ride. And I was not too skeptical of it. I didn't.
You and me were very critical of the whole situation.
Me and you were very critical, and Mike was kind of the voice of reason and all that. And, yep, But no,
dude, he shut us up, man. He's having one hell of a rookie season so far.
Yeah,
absolutely. So, and he just continues to impress because it's not like he's driving for like a top team. He's driving for Front Row Motorsports. They have not had great success in the past.
Right.
And it finally feels like John Hunter Nemechek is turning this organization around. So to be hanging tough in these long races, I give him a B plus for his week of performances.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
B plus is where I would go to. Like you said, given the equipment that he's in, how much better could he really be running? Like realistically, based on the equipment disparity between him and the top couple teams. So to be running, at times you see him running in the top 10 during races, and then to be finishing just inside the top 15, I think is a huge step forward for that organization. A huge step forward for him as a rookie. And I really didn't think he'd be one we'd be talking about as much with this big rookie class. Like I told you guys at the time, I thought this might be an okay move for him. Let's wait and see how it happens. And it's worked out really well. But even at that, I didn't expect him to be outrunning some of the big rookies on a regular basis here. So, yeah, he's really turned my head. And, B plus, fair grade. I think that's about where he should be.
Oh yeah, and yeah, like I was saying before, he's really shut us up, and I think he's doing fantastic in the equipment that he's in, and it could prove that he could possibly join better equipment possibly next season. I mean, we know that the two might possibly be open, and he's with the Ford camp, so if he has a fantastic season, who the hell knows if he can go and take that two car?
Window full of opportunities for him.
It is.
Yeah, I'll go a step up. I'll go A minus, just strictly because that he was the most overlooked rookie coming into this class. Obviously, I mean, stout class as is. And there's no way, shape, or form front row belongs in the top 10. And he is, ever since we've come back, he's consistently run in the top 10, and he's held his ground too. So, to say I am, impressed with John Hunter, I mean, that's just, I mean, I had low expectations for the kid coming in. It kind of seems like anybody who gets funneled through the front row, team, it's kind of like, oh, this is, this might not end well. You think of Matt Tiff last year, and granted all the stuff that happened with him, but hey, John Hunter, credit to him, he's very much poking his neck out for not only maybe the two, but maybe the 48, maybe the 42. I mean, the possibilities are endless, and with him having that. That loose term in his contract where, he's not specifically tied down to Ford going forward. It makes him very flexible as to what he can do moving forward. So I'll go A minus for John Hunter.
All right.
I like it.
All right. Number 3 on the list, the 14 of Clint Bowyer, 39th in the Coke 600, 16th in the Alsco 500. Bad luck Bowyer just continues to strike again, but I'm a professor here, and I'm only looking at performance-wise. I got to give him a D-, borderline F. I just don't know what's going on with Bowyer. It's like I love rooting for the guy. It's just like that piano is always going to drop on him at some point. He runs good in the beginning of the race. Something always happens, and it just spirals downhill. It's almost like that's just stuck on repeat for him right now. It's really disappointing to see, but the performance in the beginning of the race is there for him. You just can't put the race together. Something always happens. D-, borderline F for Clint Bowyer.
Yeah, I kind of feel like you kind of have to replace the bad luck Brian meme with bad luck Bowyer lately. Like that guy cannot catch a break, man. I really like Bowyer. I want to see him get a win for possibly his last season, the 14. Who the hell knows? But I want to see that guy get a win because it's always a party when he goes to victory lane.
Yeah. I think it's a fair grade. Kind of like our professor's facial hair, Clint Bowyer is all over the place. So,
Hey, man, that's just detention right there, bud. See you later this afternoon.
I'm the first one in detention on the Kinzels classroom. I'll take that as a W. But coming back for 16th yesterday wasn't too bad. Obviously, we do expect them to run a little better than that, but just so up and down, you never know what you're going to get with this guy. And for somebody that, is in Stewart Haas Racing equipment, for to be saying that is still a little, we're a couple of years in singing the same song when it comes to him. So, yeah, I would say D- is pretty fair.
Yeah, fair grade for me as well. Lady Luck continues to be undefeated with Clint, and it always seems like he's right in the middle of it. So, obviously Clint's approaching the end of his racing career, and if it is his last year in the 14, you want to see him go out and do well because he's got a good future in TV ahead of him. So
I mean, he's been
look,
doing every Xfinity race so far, basically.
Right, and I think him and Jamie are a really good combo in the booth as well. But it would be cool to see Bowyer get a win. I think it'd be nothing but good for the sport, especially with his ties to Barstool and them being more involved. So, you want to see Bowyer do much better. But I think D is a very fair grade for him.
Yeah. So sorry, Mr. Bowyer, you do not make the grade this week. Dun. All right, driver number 4. Gotta go with the 88 of Alex Bowman here. 19th in the Coke 600, 31st in the Alsco 500. The speed was there for Alex Bowman. Just what happens with him is he shows such promising speed in races. Something always seems to go wrong for him as well. So I gotta give him either. I'm giving him a C- to a D for his past week. The speed was there. It's just in the end. He's got to start putting these results together because you really look back at his finishes. He doesn't besides that win at Auto Club, he really doesn't have like the best finishes out there. The speed is always there for Alex Bowman. It's just the whole race is not there for him yet. So that's why I'm going to be a little tough on him this week and give him either C- into the D range.
Ooh, I'm going to have to go ahead and disagree with the professor on this one. I'm going to have to go ahead and give him a B- to a C+. And here's why. We can't get so infatuated with just the finishes for these races. Again, this is the stage era of racing. We just watched in the first 3 or 4 races of the season, Ryan Blaney had 1 top 5 and came out the points leader after 3 races. He's up there. He's winning stages. He's gathering stage points. Yeah, you know, especially like last night, he fell off pretty good, but those stage points are going to go further sometimes. So again, he had the speed. It was an error that he made. But I think, again, we're in that era where we're kind of transitioning away from top 5s and top 10s being the most determining factor as opposed to stage points. And yeah, the final result wasn't there as far as that goes, but the accruing of stage points and, you know, stage wins is. So with that being said, there's a lot I thought he gained as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to disagree with you there as well, Professor. I gotta go with Mike there. Give him a B- C+. I mean, he won stage 1 and 2 in the Coca-Cola 600. He won a stage in last night's race. He's been leading so many laps during these races. I don't know. I gotta give him a B- because, yeah, it's unfortunate what happened with him slamming into the wall and not getting a good finish on Sunday, but he has shown some speed, and I think he's one of our top drivers right now.
Yeah, I'll go B- for me as well, just because of how strong that team has shown up, and you know, the finishes aren't showing out to be the best, but he's making up for it by winning stages and running up front in the stage. It kind of just seems like it all comes crashing down in the last stage. But I'll go B- for Alex Bowman.
All right. And then we'll conclude here with the driver of the number 12, Mr. Ryan Blaney. 3rd in both of these races. I'm going to give him a solid B+ A-. I mean, didn't seem like he had any issues with Todd Gordon in these past races, which is always good to see. The 12 car was fast. He was up there contending for the lead at some points. And then, yeah, just solid top 5 finishes for Ryan Blaney this past week. Good for him to see. So, yeah, solid B+ A-.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly have to agree as our resident Ryan Blaney fan of the show. Darlington, both races were very disappointing to see. They didn't click on anything, and the opposite couldn't be more true this week with both Charlotte races. Other than not being the race winner, I thought he did a phenomenal job. Accrued a bunch of stage points, finished 2nd in both stages yesterday, 3rd in the race. You know, coming home 3rd after the penalty in the 600, had a bunch of stage points as well. I think, like we said, stage points and stage wins are what's going to be key. Even more than finishes, especially when you're going to be trying to run for a championship like I think he's going to try to be doing this year, trying to be a sneaker into that last 4 spot. So I think this is a huge week for him racing. Did a really good job kind of bouncing back from Charlotte, and he's just sitting just outside of the top 5 in points right now after yesterday's race, and I think that's a great place for him to be.
Yeah, I got to give YRB A- or so. Just one hell of a race. It looked like he was going to take the lead away from Chase, but Chase just pulled away. He had the faster car. You know, Blaney he got passed up by Hamlin there at the end, but he had a hot rod during the 600 and the 500. So yeah, I got to go A-.
Yeah, solid A for me. Todd Gordon really rolled off a really good piece for the last 2 races, and really gave Ryan the equipment that he deserves and stuff. So I'll go a solid A. I mean, you know, a top 3 in both races, you know, that's about as good as you can ask for, especially with running the 600 and Charlotte again. So I'll go a solid A. The team's really turned around from their bitter performances at Darlington.
Yep, I have to wholeheartedly agree with you guys. And then one driver who did not make the list this week, but I'll give him an honorable mention. Shout out. I got to go Ricky Stenhouse Jr. for finishing 4th last night. Terrific finish for JTG Doherty Racing. I think that's their best finish on an oval track. So kudos to them. And yeah, that's all the professor has for this week.
Yeah, Stenhouse really surprised me last night, boys.
Yeah, it surprised me too on lap 68.
Yeah, well, that'll happen when you get in the way of Ricky Stenhouse, boy.
Oh, trust me, I know.
I think it's happened to all of us.
Well, boys, class dismissed.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching the Stock Car Spectacle. I'm Ian Jortson.
Mike Gamble.
I'm Nick Kinzel.
Connor Bunn.
And guys, make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram. Follow Connor Bunn on Twitter and Instagram. Follow For the Lead on Twitter and Instagram. Follow our buddy Koto's Mojo as well. And we'll see you next time.